Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new live session. We're going to get started in just 2 minutes. Okay, so let's start this live session with the basics. What is Customily? Most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store. For both cases, we have the perfect tools to get started. So Customily is an app that gets installed in your store and provides you with live previews of products, as well with options that your customers can interact with, changing those live previews with every interaction. So from text typing to font selection, clipart selection, or even image upload, your preview will change with every interaction and give you a realistic example of how your customization will look in the product. For example, I can type my initials and see how they change live on my live preview. In fact, I could change, for example, some cases to see the effect, or change my variants to see how the color changes, and I can preview and select other versions of the product. I can even change the font and see how it changes. Another example that I have here is this leather wallet that you see has also letters. This has a particular case-sensitive effect. So if I were to type the same initials of my name, but keeping that special format, I can actually change my font and get a special effect like that. So you can do a lot of things with Customily. This is just a couple of examples of what you can do, but the effect is whatever your customers will interact in the options will reflect in the live preview. So imagine how you were used to customize before this. You had to provide a lot of images and examples and gather a lot of information from your customers over the notes of an order, and then start a back and forth email conversation with proofing and several draft files until you finally get the final design that your customer wants. And then you can fulfill. Now with Customily, we have simplified that process and automated most of the parts, because now your customers are able to customize and live preview what they're doing. And not only that, once they are satisfied with their customization, they will purchase, and you as a merchant will get not only the preview they saw, but actually a print file with the same information. So you will have everything ready to fulfill in any provider that you wish. So if you put together stuff in Customily, your customers will be able to live customize them, get the final proof on their end automatically, and you will get the print file. So imagine how many steps and time you have saved so far. Now, this preview is done by loading a template. And the options altogether are called the option sets, is also the other element loaded on the front end. So these two elements, the template and the option set, are created in Customily and are the base elements of Customily. So if you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, and the options actually will be created automatically with that template, you will be able to connect those elements to any existing products in your store. As simple as that. So any product that you already have in your store, you can turn that around into a customizable, live customizable product just by creating the template and the options and connecting them to your product. I just mentioned how you can connect to an existing product. We have been covering that in previous live sessions. There's a lot of examples for you to check on our YouTube channel. And there's another thing we can do with Customily, and that is to create new products. Because like I said, you may be starting off with an existing store, or you may be starting off with a scratch empty store. So that's why we developed Customily 2.0. And what's this? This is our latest update for Etsy stores and Shopify stores. This allows you to create and publish personalized products easier, faster, and better than before. So those starting your stores from scratch will have more interest in this section because now you can choose a product directly from a print-on-demand provider, add a design to it, and get it published in your Shopify or Etsy store, all from the Customily app. So imagine that you no longer need to be creating the listings or coming up with the products on a print-on-demand website or app. You can manage everything inside Customily. And also with the print-on-demand services that have an API connection, all the fulfillment processes will be automated. This means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready-to-print file will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. So Customily is not only saving you time on the back and forth drafting and proofing with your customer, it's saving you time on the ready-to-print file, and now it's also saving you time because it's automatically sending things to fulfillment on certain print-on-demand providers. So just start calculating how much time you're saving, and it's amazing. So another interesting feature for, like I said, Etsy and Shopify stores is the free access to Customily's design libraries. And this means that you can find designs ready to use and sell, or you can use that exclusive Clipper collection to create your own designs. And we're going to show an example of that. Before that, let me tell you about these four different ways and paths that you can explore with Customily 2.0. To summarize, you can work with a print-on-demand provider who has its own product catalog and add a design from Customily's library to it. This is the fastest path and the one that allows you to have a published product in minutes. Now you can work with a print-on-demand provider, but choose to create and add your own designs to that product. In this case, you will have to populate your design library before being able to publish products in your store. And we have a great design studio, so you can create your own art really fast and really amazing. On the other hand, if you have your own products and you're not interested in working with a print-on-demand provider, the way to go is to start by populating your product-based library first. After you have your own product mockups, you can choose to add a design from Customily's library to them and publish the product really fast. Or you can, of course, add your own designs to your own products. And this is the path that involves more time, but once you have all your product mockups and all your designs set up, you're going to have a mix and match game, and you'll be able to create those products really fast and publish them in your store. Now, the 3 and 4 path are meant for when you don't have a print-on-demand provider and you are your own provider, your own workshop, or you have a third-party print-on-demand service, and you have all the specifications of your products, and you can put together your own mockup and your own base product. Why we call that a base? Because you can later create as many products as you want with the same base product, but changing designs. So we're going to see that today, and it's going to be really interesting because you're not limited to any print-on-demand provider. You can also have your own information. But let's start from the beginning. Imagine I'm a store owner. I want to start selling personalized products, and I just installed Customily to try it out. Here we are in the main menu of Customily. You can see at the left bar that we have 7 sections. Now, the first 3 sections are shortcuts to the 2.0 tools. So start basically is this page, and this is where you pretty much have like this big button that says create new product. And then you have your designs, your own designs collection, and your own product-based collections. Now, the other 3 sections are the main core of Customily. Remember, I told you that on the front end, you will load templates and you will load options. Okay, so your templates, actually in this section, you can create or you can manage and explore all your templates, the ones you create, the one that Customily will create for you, everything. You can also modify them, rename, change, adapt, or even clone if you want. You can also organize your assets in libraries, color libraries, fonts, vectors, and images. And you can see all your connected products in the store section, as well as change many settings that will help you customize the front-end experience of your customers. Okay, today, as you may have guessed, we're going to be creating these two products, the leather wallet and the luggage tag. Now, for the leather wallet, we're going to be working with a print-on-demand provider, in this case, Shinon, that has this product already. And we are going to create our own design. In this case, we're going to create the design of the initials. Then we are going to see how easy it is to clone that design that we created and change and make another design to create this luggage tag, because this particular tag is not available or any print on demand that we connect with. We're going to create that as a product base, basically because let's imagine that you have stock of this and you can fulfill that in your own workshop. So you may want to offer different designs, so you will have a product base. And we're going to play around with one design, but in the future, you can add many. So we are going to, like I said, we're going to be creating these products, but imagine right now that we are off in the start section. And here, you have access to print-on-demand providers when you click on Create New Product, or your own product bases. And these are shortcuts. When you begin, you're going to have this empty, but well, I have been creating some stuff. You will have also the direct access to My Design libraries, or creating a new design, or the product base libraries, and creating a new product base, all from the Start section. Now, if you have an account with any of these print-on-demand providers, you can integrate with Customily. Most of them, those that says automatic fulfillment here at the bottom, means that you have available an API key from them. So you can grab that API key and integrate with Customily. I recommend that you do this at the beginning if you already have the account, because it's going to be easier when you start creating products. I mean, you can create products. They will not have the automatic fulfillment capability until you put the API key. So let me show you how you can do that. So you can play with that later. In the Start section here, you're going to click on Settings at the top of the screen, and it will take you to a 5-tab page. You're going to find the Integrations tab. And as you can see, I have already put my Printful and my Printify integration. And if I want to add Shinon, for example, I will go to the drop-down menu, click here, find the print-on-demand provider that I want to use, click on Enable Integration, and it will show up at the bottom of my Integration tab. So now I'm able to put the API key and validate that key and save the settings. How do I find the API key? Well, there's a shortcut here to our Help Center article that will guide you through how you can find the API key of all print-on-demand providers we work. Printful, Printify, and in this case, well, Shinon. This will guide you really easily and graphically to where you can find the API keys. You copy them, you paste them, and it will validate, and you click Save Setting. It will turn green, and you're all set and done. You can click back on Start and start off again. So if I were to create a new product, I will click here, and I would select which print-on-demand provider I'm going to be using to pick the product base. If I have my own product base, I can click here. If I don't, and I want to use one of print-on-demand providers product, I'm going to click on them. Just click on Shine On, for example, and I will see a catalog of products that have been already integrated with Customily. If you happen to want to sell a particular product that is not here, all you have to do is request that product, and we're going to see to integrate that. So don't worry, it's really hard to keep up with so many products. So we try to have the best sellers and more interesting and highly recommended by the BOD. In this case, we want to create a unique product from the graphic leather wallet base here that has a cowhide leather, okay, and a print area. If you have more than one provider and more than one variant, you will find that here, and you'll be able to select if you want to sell all colors or all sizes or all materials, for example. This will be the chance for you to customize what parts of the products you will want to sell on your store. Once you pick something here, you click Next, and now you can pick your design. And this is where you can start creating your designs and pick from that library, or browse around the Customily designs. In this case, as you can see, we have over 200 designs. These are really great to get started, to get inspired. And remember, you can create something, but then you can modify this. You can change the tree, you can change the couch, change the quotes, move around the characters. This is free for you to play around with. And there's a lot of categories, and you can also search for that and find different characters, different seasons or events, or even type of products you can create with this. But we're not going to be using any of this today. We want to create a simple free initials monogram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on Start, and just like we do, create a new design. When I click on Create a new design, I'm going to name this, let's say, this live session initials, okay? This is my new design. And this is the Design Studio. And here you can see there's a lot of tools that you can offer for customization. For example, if you want your customers to type in anything, you can create text boxes. They can be straight or curved. Inside of these text boxes, you can change fonts, you can change colors. If you want your customers to be able to upload files, you can create placeholders. Placeholders are for your customers to upload images, upload vectors if they have logos in single colors and stuff. So these two placeholders will just create an element that you can modify and arrange in any design. Also, you can offer street maps and star maps. You should check some live sessions in which we created a lot of this. In fact, our next live session will be all about maps. Street maps will be really, really amazing. But you can create these kind of elements and have your customers later customize them. And then we have dynamic elements. These dynamic elements, vectors and images, basically are objects that you can upload your own artwork. If you have backgrounds, if you have characters, hairstyles, color patterns, any kind of image that you want customers to swap, or you want them to have background, you can create them with dynamic images. In fact, you will see and remember from these 4 small icons that it means that one single dynamic image object can hold many different images. We're going to see that later. If you upload one image, basically you're uploading a background. But if you upload many images, what you're doing is you're giving choices to your customers. So keep that in mind when you have your designs. One great thing about Customily is that whenever you install the app for the first time, you will get an onboarding with some key questions on what kind of products you're going to be selling, how you're going to fulfill them, if you have your own designs or you want to use Customily designs. Those answers will personalize the onboarding, and you will end up with a basic product ready to go. And the idea of that onboarding, I recommend you follow that to the end, is to get you started on exactly what you need from the app. Like you saw, there's a lot of paths you can take, and we intend that onboarding to guide you into the best path. Also, if you have your own designs, it's important to have a clear idea of what you want to create. So when you come to the design studio, you just don't see the blank square. You actually see what you're going to be creating, and you can use these tools to quickly create what you want to do. So let's start with something really simple. Some initials. So if I were to pick this text element, and I'm going to type something like yeah, ABC. That's me. Yeah, and I'm going to play around with the character because basically this is really small. So I have 4 tabs to customize this. I have a transform tab in which I can change position and be precise on the coordinates and on the size. I don't know. I could have this. Let's type something in just to see that you can. Oh, have this locked. Sorry. So we have this to be really precise, for example, and we can position this anywhere we want, like that, or even more, be more precise if we were to be like that. So we can play around with the transforming and adjusting this any way we want. And on the character part, we start playing around with the fonts and the size of that font. In this case, you're going to have these files and these fonts in the assets on this video later, so you can replicate this. But I decided to play around with a couple of fonts that have something really interesting. They have the same type of character for lowercase and uppercase. They just change size. So if I were to pick, for example, Sincel, and pick something bigger, I don't know. Right now we have maximum 50 points, but let's go. You see, it's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But we can just type in, I don't know, 500. Yeah, that's pretty big. So this is a text that you see has lowercase in this font. But if I were to put an uppercase, I will have this effect. So I like this font basically because the uppercase has a different effect. And I also want to offer another font. So what I'm going to do is, you see here, if I don't have the fonts in my computer, don't worry, just click on the plus and you'll be able to upload them really fast. Once you upload them, they will show up in your database and you're able to pick them up and select them for this. Now, I want one option to be the Sincel font, and then I want another option, the number 2 option, so I can change this option position to be one that I call circle. Which one was this? The circle. Okay, I kind of, well, okay, monograms circle. That's the one. Yeah. This particular font has something interesting, is that the capital letters, the uppercase, have a circle on the glyph, meaning that if you type something like this, it will have a great effect on the monogram. Of course, you can type this, it will look nice, and you could do something crazy like this, and it will still look interesting. Yeah, but this font is meant for you to do stuff like this. I mean, customers are free to do anything, and you can later guide them with the options on which would be the best way to proceed. But just so you know, it's possible. You can also limit the number of characters that they can type, because let's face it, we want this to be free characters, because if they keep typing, once they reach the end of the box, they will start to shrink and shrink and shrink in order to fit all these characters. How small can you get? Well, that's the minimum size, this here. You can preview that 15 actually is so small, it's unprintable. So we don't want this to be the limit. We don't want customers to keep typing until the very end. And so let's try and limit this to, I don't know, 350. And Yeah, now we have like a better shaping of sizes like this. I mean, customer will type 3 letters, don't worry about that. But just in case they were interested in typing something really big, you can always change font to see how they look. The idea of playing around with minimum size and maximum size is to see where are the limits of the text your customers will type. You are in full control of that all the time. And another thing they want to do is, in case they want to type less letters, let's not have them centered, but have them to the right, because that's kind of the design that I want to do. The last thing I want to play with is the color. Let's say that I print on a certain brown, okay, because we have like a light brown wallet. So I can pick on the color tab and I can select one color, or I can go RGB. I can even control the transparency, or just have a hex code in case we are working with a particular color palette and we know this for a fact. We can type in whatever we want and that will be saved. If you want more colors, just click on option number 2 and pick another color. Option number 3, pick another color, and like that. You will see that there are simple ways to do this, not just by one, but in any case you're getting started and you want full control of this, this is a great way to get started. Like that. So this is my design. I'm pretty sure it's all done, but here's the thing. Once we select this design to be part of our new product, Customily will look into this setup and will not pay attention to the white box. On the contrary, it's going to look for whatever element it's on the design. This. So let's say we want this text to be covering the entire wallet. That's okay. That's what Customily is going to do. But if we actually want this to be on the corner, we need this square to be considered, right? This white square to be considered. And there's a trick for that. First of all, let me change this text one name, double click. I'm going to change this to type your initials. So here is my trick and the Customily tip of the day. If you want this square to be considered, but not displaying anything, of course, you need to create a dynamic image. Why? Because you can upload PNG files, and PNG files can be transparent. Not only transparent, but completely empty. So if you have a transparent square, which I do, is this element, and you will have that also in the assets, you can open this, and basically there's nothing there. But actually, there's data, transparent data, but data at last. So we can actually click on transform, change this to whatever size we are working on. Right now we're working on a 1 by 1 meter square, but this will shrink to whatever product we select. This is just for easy working. Yeah, so if I have the entire dimensions of this, there are alignment tools on the top of the screen that I can click to align to the center and to the middle. And I can drag this down and put this transparent outline. Don't worry about this. This can be hidden or this can be showing. It's okay. Locked if you don't want to touch that by accident. The important thing is, if you didn't create this transparent outline, Customily will grab this design, but only the elements inside. Now that you created this new object, Customily will grab this group of elements and will try to put this design on the wallet. And that will guarantee that the letters will show on the corner, which is what we were looking for in the first place. I hope that was clear. If not, we can go over that later. But I wanted to show you that this is a very simple design that we can just save and get ready to get started. Now, a great thing about this is that once you create a design, you're taking to the My Design library, and you can browse for that, find that at the end in here, and check it out. You can edit again, of course. You can clone it. We're going to do that later. But what if we want to edit the options? The options, remember, are these text fields and font selection and stuff. If we want to modify the options, that's a great opportunity, because if we later want to use this design on many products, the options will just be always the same. So let's click on Edit Options and see how this works. You can preview the options like this is going to be seen on the front end. It's really great. And you see type your initials is the main part. You can type, yeah, A, B. You'll not see the preview, but at least you can see how things work. If I click on the pencil, I'm going to be opening this. These are the two options available. I can click here to open. And what I can do a lot of things. I can suggest something. For example, I can suggest how you should type this, ABC. It's going to show like a gray idea. Limit this to free number of free characters. And even I can restrict this to only letters with no spaces. This is really handy for customers not typing something that the font is not ready to use. One extra thing we can do, the help text. This is really, really handy sometimes. You can say, for example, like this. This is, okay, so case sensitive, type in format ABC to see a cool effect. That would be really attractive for customers, because they know they can type any way they want. But if you suggest the way they should type, it will save a lot of time on, well, pretty much mistakes, errors, or not understanding how this performs. Basically, because they can type all in capital letters and see the free circles like that. So with this help text, you're being really friendly with your customers. Second thing we can do, click on the type your initials fonts. I don't like this label. I'm going to change this to select font. That's the label. And if I browse over here, I see there are tooltips, these black balloons. They should say something more interesting about the font. So I can come here to the swatch values, and I open this. You see Customily created all the thumbnails. Everything looks beautiful. But I can change this to Cincel, and the other one should be monogram script, like that. And now the letters, okay, are looking better. Okay, not updated. Cincel. And monogram script. I can save these options and everything will be working perfectly well. Now that we have our design with the options, we're ready to create a new product. So let's go to the start. Let's create new product. Go to Shine On. Go to the second page, or find in the search bar the graphic leather wallet. Pick whatever variant we need and click on pick from your designs. And now you will find your design in the library. In this case, it's on the last page. Live session free initials. I'm going to click that there, and then I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes. What's happening right now? The app is creating a new listing on your store. Whether it's Etsy or Shopify, is going to create the new listing. Because you pick a Shine On product base, it's going to connect to Shine On through API, it's going to grab all the information from Shine On, and it's going to take your design or a Customily design, whatever design you picked, and it's going to put that design on the print area of the product and on the mockup of the product. So that way, it will create a brand new template. Remember, the template is the file we need to load on the front end. The options were already created. Those are the ones you modified. So an independent option set will be created for that. Here we are. We have this main listing that came from Shinon. But what if I start typing? I get to see the live preview. This is what your customers will see in your store, a brand new product that has the Shinon information and mockup, plus your design in here. And you see, because we cover the entire print area, the texts come to the corner. And I can change the font. See, the font has the right tooltips and looks pretty well. If I like this image to be my listing photo, to my main listing photo, I can click here and save it to be my new product image. Also, if I want, and I recommend that you change the product name, basically because this is the basic Shinon product name. Let's click on Edit Product Details. And, well, set a price, I don't know, like that, if you know the price already, and change this to live session initials leather wallet, like that. This is a shortcut to Shopify. I mean, you can always go to Shopify and make these changes later. So let's click on Save Product. It will take you back to the final revision. Okay, and you're ready to publish this. If there's nothing else you want to change, just click on Publish. And very important, remember when I show you how to get the API key of Shinon? I saved the settings, but I never input the API key, so basically it didn't save. And now the system will tell me, remember that you're publishing a product that has no API key, so you won't have the automatic fulfillment until you put the API key. You can add the API key or just say not now and do that later. But this is a reminder that you still need to take that step to make the most of Customily. And the product is live. Options and templates, everything is loading perfectly well. I can type in, or change this like that. I don't have to respect the effect. I will have this perfectly possible, but this help text definitely gives an idea of what you can do. Okay, so this is our first product. Let's get on to the second product. Remember that luggage tag is something we have in our stock. Okay, thank you. There are no questions. If you want, you can always ask questions along the way. If we're going to be creating a product base, that later we can add the compass design, or we can add the image design, or just the text design with the I don't know, address or contact number, whatever. We have many designs, but we have one single product, the luggage tag. So let's go to Customily. We went off to the Start section again, and we can click here to create a product base. When we click here, we are going to be seeing something similar to the Design Studio. In here, we can rename this to Live Session. Okay, and think about this. If this is a product that I have, that I'm going to be fulfilling, I'm probably sure I have a lot of images, and I have a lot of information of this product, including the size of the print area, the place in the tag that will imply a design to be printed. In this case, I know that this tag has a 60 by 100 print area, so I can put that in the print area and create that page. So this is my print area. This is all I need from my product in order to print. Inside this print area, we're going to put a design, any design later. Very important, Customily can export in many formats, so you can pick from any of these. In this case, I'm going to be exporting in PDF, RGB mode color. And I'm going to ready to go to the next stage. The next stage is the preview settings. And here, let me show you what you need to have in order to get into Customily really fast. Of course, if you have an original idea, that's the best way to go. If you then have original colors and options, okay, you can start with this, but you will need a graphic designer or your own skills to basically break this into pieces. Your original idea should have a base file that will look something like this, basically without the tag. And then you will need to have independent tags, yeah, and also the compass that you are going to be putting inside of Customily. Why? Because if you want customers to be able to change the color of the tag and preview that on top of context, it's better if you have these kind of files. These are all PNG transparent files, so no need to, it's really not that out of this world, but it takes a bit of time to perform these editions. But once you have these files, putting together a base is really fast. Well, if you're working with Photoshop or Illustrator, I saw that question. You will need to export in PNG. At the moment, Customily cannot import Photoshop files or Illustrator files. We can export in Illustrator and EPS, but not import those kind of files. We are currently importing either EPS files for vector elements and PNGs and JPEGs for image files. JPEGs will not have transparency, but PNGs will have transparency. So let's put together the product images. Basically, when you click, you have three tools here. The mask tool, we have seen that in previous live session, involves reshaping whatever product you're printing, like a canvas or a pillow. So it's like a transparent image. But the base image is always the product image. And this will be essential to determine the variants that you will offer. So when you click on Add Product, you will need to put these products, because this is basically what you're selling. So I'm going to pick these 4 elements, and I will have this image ready to go. I can grab my print area and I can shrink this to fit the reality of what I'm going to be printing. Okay, like that. And what about the context? If you want to add context, because, well, basically right now you can just offer your product like this with a white background. Not very attractive, but nevertheless, it's possible. If you want to offer this with a bit more of context, all you have to do is click on dynamic image. You see, in this step, you can add dynamic images, basically because dynamic image is just uploading your own files. And you can upload, for example, this base file, like that. Okay, and this base file, of course, will have to be transformed really quickly. Open transform and click, okay, 1000 pixels, and then click to take this down all the way to the bottom, like this. And now we can pick the product image and the print area and resize this to be more fitting with the context, like this. Probably like this would be kind of the right idea. We can double check by previewing all other tags and be happy with this. So how are we certain this is how Customily works? Because this product base will create the template later. So we click next, and before we save, we can see that whenever we pick a design, that design will go to the print area here and print like this, but preview like this. And we will be able to change stuff on the design, and it will reflect on the print, but will show for the customers like this. That's the advantage of Customily, is the fact that you can have both things running in the same file. So the product base is ready. Let's click save. And the app detected some files in the product images. So it's asking you if you want to have a color variant, and you will say yes, but we're going to remove the tag this like that. So navy and ochre. We have 4 variants, 4 colors. So now we save the product. Once the product is saved, we need to pick a design. And I kind of like, this is the product base collection, okay? And if I go to my designs, I actually liked the design we created because it has nice initials and stuff. So I'm going to clone it to have the initials and stuff like this. So this is the cloned version. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to rename this free initials plus compass. Why? Because I got inspired and I want to add a compass image. That was my inspiration originally, something like this. So now I have this live session free initials plus compass, and I'm going to edit this. First thing you can do about this is resize the proportions. Why? Because now we know we are working with a vertical design. So if I click on resize, I could actually change the proportions to something closer to the print area. 600 by 1000. Remember, it's 60 by 100 is kind of where you go. Of course, the print area the canvas will change, but we need to adjust the transparent outline. That's easy. We just click on transform and change the width to 600. Probably need to align this. And our initials, I'm just going to maybe change this X position. Okay. I can be like this or be more precise, just playing around so you can see how it works. This is the same text, the same features, the same fonts. Everything is exactly how we left. And one thing we can do, for example, is, okay, so my tag will not print in brown, will print in gray. So our color will be changed to a gray, like that. That's all we need to change. And we're going to add the compass. To add the compass, we are going to add a dynamic image. This dynamic image, like I said, you can upload, I don't know, a compass, a world map, and something else. And customers will choose between 3 different designs, or just pick one, in this case, the compass, and have them see this by default. You can transform this manually or by coordinates. I think I did this already, and it was something like this, and probably going to be up. A great thing about the Design Studio is that you can preview all possible nightmare cases. What do I call that? Imagine, for example, that you have this font that has a particular entourage, and your customer decides to type this. So you need to make sure it will not collide with your design or your graphics, like that. Now it's not colliding, and the same like this. So you need, by previewing worst case scenarios, you're making sure that nothing wrong will happen when your customers will be customizing. And this is our new design. This is perfectly well looking, and we don't have to do anything yet. In fact, the options have not changed. It's the same font selection and text selection. We just changed the proportion, added a graphic, and changed the color. All like that. So we can save the design. And in fact, we can save the design without updating the options, because we want to keep the same options. We want to keep these type initials and case sensitive and select font. We want to keep those things. So just save the graphic part without updating anything about the options. If you create a new font, if you create a new colors, if you added more elements that need to be optional, then yes, you should change the options. But in this case, we can double check that everything is looking exactly as we left. And if not, Okay, we can go over what we did as changing. We made a placeholder called ABC. We had 3 characters as a limit, only letters with no spaces to be the restriction, and a help text that I'm going to copy and paste. And the fonts had a select font with Sincel and like that. So save the options again. That's a great time saver if you change the options and personalize them within the design before creating and replicating this design into many products. It will save you a lot of time. So now let's go to the rocket, go to the start section and create my new product. Click on create new product basis, because this is our base. There's no print on demand on this product. This will be manually fulfilled. And if we look in the search bar for the tag, oh, look how many tags we have. This is the live session Luggage tag, the one we just created. So clicking here and picking, you see 4 variants are the one we put together when we uploaded the different product images. Now we have 4 variants that will create as actually Shopify or Etsy variants. That's great because later you can manage stock easily with that or even charge different. Click next. Instead of picking from Customily, which you can, of course, there's no problem there. Just click on pick your design and find the one that you cloned, but you change a couple of details. Again, a new listing is being created. No API connection, of course, but this listing will have the variants you created, will have the print area you set up, and Customily is putting together the design on that mockup and print area and creating a brand new template. I hope I have a couple of minutes to show you the template, just so you can see how easy it is to later replicate or change a couple of stuff. It's really, you can always change anything about Customily. These are tools that save you a lot of time, but nothing stops you from doing some tweaking later, and you will see why that's so amazing. Okay, you see, this is our context, this is our product base, but has a design. So this is a brand new template that will display our new design. So if I were to type this, it will show perfectly well, change like this. And if I were to change my variants, you see how the image changes. This is all automatically done by Customily. This is just swapping images by changing the variants and always displaying the design on the print area. Okay, so I'm going with this color, which is Morena's favorite. Save this to be the new image. I can change the product if I want, the product name and the color, but I'm just going to save a new image and publish this new listing. If I click on Save Draft, basically the product will stay in Shopify or Etsy, but not active, so not available for purchasing. If you get this message, don't worry. This is a brand new product, so the link may not be working at the beginning. Just reload, and you will get that. Now, how can we get an even better image of this? If you go to the backend of Customily, or in this case, I'm going to, because I'm using my Shopify store, I'm going to show you the backend of Shopify. If I were to filter by the newest products created, I will see that this live session Luggage tag has been created here. Okay, and all the other products that we were working on. But inside Customily, remember this template area is the main core of Customily, where you will find all your templates that are loading on your products. I can browse through the last modified, and I can find this one, this live session luggage tag with 3 initials in the compass. I can edit this here, and I will get my 2 sections. First step is the print file. This is perfectly well. You see my design has been positioned on the print area, 60 by 100, not 600 by 1000. It's always ready to go and print. And it's going to be printing on a PDF like we specified before in the product base. Now, when I click next to the second step, this is my preview. And one thing that you can do is go to, for example, the type initials, type something, I don't know, like this. And in the transform tab, there's something called a skewing. Skewing allows you to deform a bit the object. So you see, if I slightly deform this, it kind of goes with the perspective of the object. So the same can go with the dynamic image that I have here. It changes very little. In fact, if you see that there's no perfect alignment, that's probably because of the print area and how things were simplified. You could actually make sure that, okay, your fulfillment will center this. So yeah, great. And if you want to double check with the product images, you can change this. But you see how the skewing has made this slightly more realistic, okay? And because this is slightly more realistic, it's better for the perspective. But how did these changes reflect on the print? Well, nothing, actually. They run independently. They share the same information. They just display differently. So this is skewed. This is not skewed. This will always print in the same, even if we see that a bit skewed. So coming back to the template and doing a couple of extra changes will be can be a game changer on the effect without changing the end fulfillment. And you just click save. And once it is saved, you don't need to actually reconnect anything or recreate anything. Every time you save a change on the option set or on the template, it will reflect automatically on the front end. You don't have to do anything because it's always loading the same file. Yeah, so let's create this. If I go here and I refresh this, obviously my listing picture will still be the same, but I can just see that there is a skewing and it looks better now. Maybe it's not that much, but it's something, and it's still working on the precision and realism of our product. And if you like this new image, because this image now has a skewing, just click on preview, see that image, and save this as tag listing number 2. Save. And if I go to Shopify or Etsy, depending where we are doing, I just come to the listing, change my listing photo. I can add more photos. I mean, I could actually come here, change this, and offer as many images as I want. So listing 3. I mean, remember this at the end of the day is a store listing, and you can have as many media files as you want. And so I have listing 2 and 3 like that. This one is old because it has straight text. Just go away. And yeah, my gallery will be full of media, but when in the end, when you want to personalize, all you need is one point of view and one image only. Yeah, it's my product. Yeah, great. But if I start customizing, yeah, I can still flip around. But of course, this will show better when we have the variants working with us. So there's no limit on the listing images, on the setting of the listing and stuff, or even the options. Just your imagination and ideas ready to begin with when you jump into Customily. If you have any other questions or getting started with this, remember we have a great support team that you can contact anytime at support@customily.com. There's a live chat in the app that you can open on business hours EST. And join our Facebook communities, because there's a lot of information exchange, ideas, advices and stuff. There's a lot of people helping and commenting on our communities. So it's really amazing if you join. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for joining in this live session, also over the week. We'll see you next week with new ideas. And well, as always, thank you for supporting this great experience. Have a great weekend and see you next week.